All right, let's take you to this now. The IEC has released a statement clarifying the update of the elections dashboard. This amid circulating reports that the IEC had released different results of the elections. The Electoral Act prescribes that for the calculation of compensatory seats, both national compensatory ballots and regional ballots are taken into account. It has also dismissed reports that the NFP had no seats in the KZN legislature. For more on this, we're now joined by the IEC's Deputy Chief Electoral Officer, Masego Sheburi, and he joins us via video link. Thank you so much, Mr. Sheburi, for your time. So given, the allegations from some quarters alleging that the IEC has rigged and manipulated the final election results, just give us your clarification then in terms of, this update on record on how this was simply as a result of adding the regional and the national numbers, and perhaps clarify, clarity on the terms of the numbers and what has, come in.
Thank you very much. At the outset, let's just repeat the obvious, and that is the results that were announced on the 2nd of June and the seats that were assigned on the 2nd of June have not changed. What has happened in the intervening period is that for purposes of clarity, we have changed the manner in which we project the public-facing results to make it simpler for people who want to access the results. What do we mean by that? We've combined the votes cast for a party on a regional ballot, as well as the votes cast for that party on a national compensatory ballot, and added them together. Before that, it was a mission to navigate our result system because a person only got the results for the National Assembly and they had to go and drop down and look for the results for the region in respect of an election of the National Assembly. As you recall, the National Assembly is a two-tier election made up of elections at the regional level as well as one national election. And the seats are split 200 in the regions and 200 for the National Assembly elections. All that we have done is to combine those results and give parties the seats that were assigned to it on the 2nd of June, as well as the share of the vote percentage as was determined on the 2nd of June, in order to simplify the information that we make available to public and to stakeholders. We confirm again, the numerical figures as well as the percentage vote have not changed as a result of the change in how we projected the results.
And I'm looking at your statement here where you, of course, are explaining that this is also as a result of the Electoral Act and what is then meant to happen. You say in your statement the Electoral Act prescribes that for the calculation of compensatory seats, both the national compensatory ballots and regional ballots are taken into account, hence the demotion of the national ballots and the regional ballots on the results dashboard. Could you have done things differently, as the IEC this time around, as in display combined total as a main set of numbers from the start, to reflect the 400 seats, not wait until the results were in, just to avoid what we are seeing now, this further suspicion of the IEC. And also just given how the question of your credibility has been the focal point on these elections than in previous years.
Sure, we take the point. But it is important to also repeat that as a result of the amendment, there were no tabulation of results. The tabulation occurred already on the 2nd of June at the point when the Commission announced the result. What we are doing just was to simplify how we present information to members of the public. We had thought that the manner in which we had presented it was easy enough, but it turned out in hindsight that some of the steps were obscure to people, and therefore that change was effected already on the 7th of June and not yesterday as reported.
And Mr. Sheburi, I mean, do you think you did enough to educate political parties and independents and, of course, the public and, just how things have changed in these elections, as we can see through the additional results? I mean, of course, we know that there are only so many things you can do within your own control.
Indeed, and we maintain liaison with political parties and independent candidates. So those who wanted information could have just dropped an email to the Electoral Commission, and we could have clarified that thing. But we accept that this was a new introduction implemented for the first time, and it will take a series of elections for it to take root and be as well known as it is by established political contestants and political parties. But we accept the point that we could have done more in terms of simplifying the communication around the electoral system.
Just as a final question, and also keep it very short because we have run out of time, Mr. Sheburi. So very quickly, just, in terms of the next steps with political parties that have had objections, what is happening there now?
All the objections that were lodged with the Commission have been investigated and formal responses dispatched to all the parties that had raised objections.
All right.
If a party remains aggrieved for whatever reason, they can then refer the matter to the Electoral Court.